Center in Los Angeles. The Bucks are -4. Total open 237 down to 236.5. 62% are leaning Lakers. 57% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Lakers are +155 for some money line cash. Now, Hill is questionable for Milwaukee. Meanwhile, on the Lakers side of things, Lance Stevenson is questionable for them as well. Now, the Lakers have failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6 games. They rank second to last in home defensive rebounding, 29th out of 30 teams in home defensive rebounding. Now, Milwaukee, on their side of things, they rank first in offensive rebound. They're number 1. They rank first in offensive rebounding in the NBA. They're 18-2 straight up in their last 20, and obviously they are being led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, who's dropping 27 points per contest. Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the Greek Freak, the original. He's dropping 27 points per contest. Chris Middleton's averaging 17.4 points per game as well. And when it comes to the total, Milwaukee's just 41% to the over when traveling. Lakers just 8-22 to the over on their home court. Give me Milwaukee -4 and the under 236.5 in that matchup there. All right, short slate of college basketball games, but we have a couple to take a look at, and we're actually going to take a look at 3 college basketball games, beginning with Kent State at Bowling Green. 6 o'clock tip-off at Bowling Green. I believe they're the Falcons. I always mess up these mascots with these odd schools, but I believe they're the Falcons of Bowling Green. They're -5.5. Total open 149. They're taking on a Kent State team who's failed to cover in their last 3 straight. Kent State, are they the Flash, the Flame, Golden Flash, I think? Kent State failed to cover in 5 out of their last 7. Meanwhile, Bowling Green is 16-9 against the spread overall for the year. 10-3 ATS on their home court, and they're also covering 73% of their games as the official home favorite. Now, total-wise, Bowling Green is 64% to the over. Overall for the year, they're also 67% to the over after 4 or less days off. Meanwhile, on the Kent State side of things, they are 67% to the over in their games that tipped off at the current posted total. So with all that in mind, I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Bowling Green -5 and the over 149 in that matchup there. We got the laundry bell dinging. We got people yawning in the background. Hey, of course, out of all nights, he's in bed. That would have been so funny hearing him go back and forth, snack time, got to take a poop. Oh, I don't feel good. It's bedtime around here is great. Next game, Rhode Island at Dayton. 7 o'clock tip-off at Dayton. Now, they're the Flyers. The Dayton Flyers are -8.5. Total open 135.5 up to 136 and a hook. Dayton's just 5-10 against the number on their home court. They're also just 7-13 against the spread when laying the points. The Flyers are just 2-5 against the spread in their games that tipped off at the current number. And they're covering just 33% of their games, taking on teams allowing 67 to 72 points per contest. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, I'm going to vouch for Rhode Island right now, but I'm actually going to do the opposite because Rhode Island is covering just 28% of their games when traveling. They're also just 2-6 against the spread when catching the points. Rhode Island's just 5-9 against the number, taking on teams over 650, and they actually lost 77-48 in their last game, taking on Dayton, and that was at home. Horrible. 77-48.
Who does that?
Unbelievable, right? Can you believe that? Nope. Total-wise, Rhode Island, 6-1 to the under in their games, played at the current posted total. So I got to lean, once again, very chalky play here. Give me the Dayton Flyers -8 after buying the hook, and the under 136.5 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our college slate. It is going to be Buffalo at Miami, Ohio. 8 o'clock tip-off in Ohio. Buffalo's -8.5. Total is 152 and a hook. The Bulls are 17-10 against the number overall for the year. 10-5 against the spread when traveling. Buffalo is 6-0 straight up in their last 6 games. And they beat Miami last time, 88-64. 24-point win. Unreal.
That's big.
Yeah, that's big. Miami, they failed to cover in 5 out of their last 10. when they had 4 or less days off. They've also failed to cover in 2 out of their last 4 games, just in general. Now, total-wise, Miami of Ohio is just 9-17 to the over overall for the year. They're also just 14% to the over, taking on teams giving up 67 to 72 points per contest. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the road favorite in this one. I'm also going to buy the half a point. Give me Buffalo -8 and the under 152.5 in that matchup there. And then we are going to finally wrap this thing up and slide into some NHL, some hockey. Beginning with hockey, yes, hockey. Pittsburgh at Buffalo, 7 o'clock tip-off in Buffalo. Pittsburgh opened $1.25, total open 6.5. Not a whole lot of movement in this one in the early going. We did see a nickel move toward the Penguins in the early going here. That moved them up to -130. So once again, the Pens open 125 up to -130, total 6.5. 60% of the consensus is leaning toward Pittsburgh. Now, Buffalo's +110 on the money line. Pittsburgh +190 on the puck line. Murray projected in net for Pittsburgh. Ullmark projected in net for Buffalo. Now, Pittsburgh is winning 60% of their games that were played at the current price. So, just so you know, 60% at the current market price. They also average 3.5 goals per game when traveling. That's going to put them 5th in the NHL in road scoring. Now, Buffalo is just 1-6 straight up in their last 7. They rank 23rd in scoring at just 2.8 goals per game. Now, total-wise, Pittsburgh's just 31% to the over, taking on teams between 450 and 550. I'm going to lean toward the road favorite in this one. Give me the Penguins -130 and the under 6.5 goals in that matchup there. Next game, Caps. Islanders, 7 o'clock puck drop in Long Island. Washington open 105 up to -115, totals at 6. Braden Holtby is projected in net for Washington. Grice is projected in net for the Islanders. New York's 18-8-4 at home in their games at the Coliseum. They're 9-1 straight up in the second of a back-to-back. That is unbelievable, winning 90% of their games in the second of a back-to-back. This New York defense is allowing just 2.3 goals per game at home. That's going to put them at 1st in the NHL in that category there. They're also 6th in shots allowed at home. Now, Washington, on their side of things, very good this year, but they're just 10-10 straight up, taking on teams over 550. They're also winning just 33% of their games, taking on teams allowing less than 2.6 goals per contest. Now, when it comes to the totals, Washington is 2-0 to the under in their previous 2 games, taking on the Islanders this year. And when it comes to New York, they're 70% to the under in their second of a back-to-back. So I'm going to lean toward an underdog in this one, a rare dog for me. Give me the Islanders -105 and the under 6 goals in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for the show, it is going to be Predators at the Jets, 8 o'clock puck drop in Winnipeg. The Jets open 125 down to 120, totals at 6. Nashville's +105 for an outright win. Winnipeg +215, laying the 1.5 goals. Pecorine is projected in net for Nashville. Connor Hellebuyck is projected in net for Winnipeg. Winnipeg ranks 3rd in home scoring, 3.8 goals per game on average in that category there. The Jets are also 21-8-4 straight up on their home ice. Now, Nashville, on their side of things, they're winning just 46% of their games when catching the plus money. Their offense is scoring just 2.9 goals per game on average. Now, total-wise, Winnipeg.
Washington.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't either.
Winnipeg, 22-17 and 8 to the over when Connor Hellebuyck makes the start. I'm going to lean Winnipeg -120 and the over 6 goals in that matchup there. Folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, happy Friday to you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, whether you're going to go on a 48-hour bender at your local gaming establishment, or you're just hanging out, drinking a couple beers, watching some games, maybe betting online or with your local. But anyway, just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. And most importantly, thank you for watching today's program. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information. And as always, don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.